Hello and welcome to this look back at the REEFLEX Piazza Facebook group for 2023. You folks have been capturing and sharing some truly stunning photos over the past year, and I've been through all of them. Now, this isn't a list of my favourites or ones that I think are the best or anything like that. I've chosen them for a variety of different reasons. So let's just jump straight into it because there is a few to get through. I've got a tab group up here. It's hopefully not as many as it looks, and I don't have time to do some like really detailed analysis or compositional breakdown of the photos. I'm gonna just put them on screen, tell you a bit about why I like them or why they drew my eye, and then move on. So this is one of the most recent ones, and I'm glad I held off recording this video. It's not December anymore, it's the 1st of January 2024, and I'm glad I held off recording this video until today, because otherwise I would have missed this one here from Scott Sullivan, someone who I've not seen in the group before. He seems to be a new person, and this is just fantastic. You can get selective colour very, very wrong. Scott gets it very, very right in this situation, combines it with reheld. I think reheld is going to be, well, reheld is 2023 was the year of reheld, as you will see. So if I put myself over here so you can properly see what is going on here, he's got all the compositional elements that I really, really love. And he's used the selective colour as a compositional element as well, along with the long exposure effect of reheld. And in the train station environment, it's just a picture that I want to replicate. Not the exact same way, just in that busy environment, people walking through. I really want to capture one of those myself. And what I love about this as well is that he's included another angle, unedited, he says, and I love pictures that have a bit of context in the bit of information in the description section. So that's great. Now let's have a look at the next ones. Again, very similar. Brian Powell this time, 13th of December, just going through a train station, taking your phone out, opening up reheld, and there you go. And this one, it's like, it just makes me wonder, where are these people going? What are their stories? What are they hoping to achieve on this day? It just makes me think about things like that. So remember to go up to my tab group up here. Something completely different now. This one just took me back to my time on the cruise ships. I was working as a photographer on cruise ships for a number of years. And I just put here, I wish I had reheld when I was working on cruise ships. Absolutely true. This is something that I would have captured a lot. I've been to a lot of stunning places. I had access to the bow of the ship and I could have done loads, but I didn't. I could have done this with my DSLR actually on a tripod, but I didn't think to do it. I was too busy working. That's my excuse. But love this. Absolutely love this. Another recent one, these stretch throughout the year. It's not just recency bias or anything like that. And I've included this one because I really struggle with wide angle stuff. I just can't wrap my head around it. I operate, I think, best between 50 and 60, maybe 85 millimeters. That's how I like to compose images, with that focal length in mind and that field of view. So when I see stuff like this, I'm just like, I wish I could see compositions like this. And it's taken in the REEFLEX Pro camera app, iPhone 15 Pro Max, brilliant device, edited in Lightroom. And then he said, debated editing a version without the tourist, but I like the way they added much needed sense of scale. Yeah, it does. Without the tourist here, without that person, this could have been a few meters. You would have probably thought that. I know when I've been on mountains myself and I've gone, I'll just walk to that landmark over there. It's only a few minutes. No, all day it took. So yeah, love this sort of stuff. And something completely different. Now we've got the chair, the reflection, the long exposure, the sun kissing the leg here. It's just a random, crazy almost photo. You think, who is this person? Is sitting here? What are they doing? Why is that chair there? And I would say the watermark is a bit distracting, but if we remove that consideration and just focus on the image itself without it, it's wonderful. It's just adds variety to the group. I like it. More stuff like that. Something like this. Something completely different again. And one question I have is where is this spot in my city of Manchester? I've yet to find it. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I'm too lazy. Definitely too lazy. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. Definitely that as well. I'm answering my own questions as I'm going. I'm just thinking out loud, and I just answered both my own questions. This spot will exist in Manchester. I just need to get out and find it, and it takes time. You don't just happen upon this. And I love the use of negative space here. Just put the subject right in the middle of the frame, and it does all the work. No other elements needed in the frame. And yeah, if you could see his face, it would be distracting. The fact that half of his body is in shadow, got that kicker light. Again, similar photo to the one that we saw from Miguel in the last reaction video. Just love it. Great stuff. Right, this is an example of just using your tools to create, to just be creative and capture something different. There's no, back in the day, you would have needed most likely a flash with a first curtain or rear curtain situation. I can't remember which one, a rear curtain shutter situation. And it's now with Reheld and stuff like this, you don't need to draw attention to yourself with bringing a flash out and a tripod and stuff. You just get your phone out, as long as your subject stays completely still, or you could even composite it. You can take just a still one, like a proper still one, and composite any slight movements from the Reheld image over this to create this look. And just an example of when you're out day to day, you don't have to go out and do photography. You can just have your phone on you and create stuff like this. So as I was saying, this is the year of Reheld, absolutely. And this one from Andy Green. Andy Green, he shares a lot of stuff with the REEFLEX suite of apps and the REEFLEX lenses and things. This is completely different. If you follow Andy on Instagram, which you should, he does a lot of spectacular Cornish landscapes, and he's still in Cornwall, as you can see here, but this is completely different from Andy. I just love the colours, I love the composition, I love this line, how it leads to the boat and breaks up the image. I love how it's all in focus. I'm biased towards shallow depth of field stuff. Even when I'm doing landscapes, I'm wide open at 1.8. If I could get away with it, I'd be at 1.4 on this 50mm right now. So I am biased towards shooting wide open. I know this is phone stuff. You don't have a choice on the iPhone. You're fixed, and it doesn't say the aperture, which makes sense. But we do get a example of what the raw file looked like, and it looked like that. Now, who knows? Could Andy have gotten closer to the final image without the editing and the cropping and stuff? We don't know the context of the photo, so no point being like saying, oh, you should have tried to get it a bit closer to the final image. No, he may have just had a split second to capture this photo. Maybe he didn't even have a purpose for the photo in mind. He just saw this, captured it, moved on, and then did something special with it in the edit. Happens all the time. So nice one, Andy. And we have Glyn Jewis here. This is another example of what I was saying before about I just don't know how to compose with a wide and ultra wide lens, and I'm gonna be taking inspiration from people like Glyn. There's a lot of photos of this lighthouse in the group. They're always spectacular, but for me this one stood out. It looks like a little bit, it's not a long exposure actually. Oh, actually it is. It's half a second. So, but it's barely, it's just used, the long exposure effect is used perfectly. And the way you've got the lines here from the bottom, everything just draws you to this lighthouse, and it doesn't draw you very, very fast. Your eye can go on a proper journey, take in the textures, take in the shapes and the colours and the details as it meanders almost its way up to this lighthouse. And then once you've locked your gaze on this lighthouse, you may stray a bit to the waves, but then you brought right back to the lighthouse. I need to take lessons. Definitely, I want to add it to my locker in 2024, absolutely. So next we have Chris Mitchell, who has been blown away by the Reheld app. Again, these ones for me are really special. These are a series of photos in a post, which I always like to see, like a bit of a story and a story through photos. This one was a standout image. Again, it's that ultra wide look, and I just love the way it's framed down here. You've got the contrast in the colours and the textures. The water is just dragging the stones on the beach. This just story of, like, even the stones have stories. Even the stones on the beach have stories, and I find myself wondering, like, about the life of a stone on a beach. It's just that's the sort of thing that this photo does for me. And you've got the still elements of these rocks contrasting with the movement of the water and the clouds. Brilliant exercise, a brilliant demonstration of contrast between still and moving. And there is more photos like this. Just, I wouldn't have even, I'd just seen that and just wouldn't have even considered that as a photo. But Chris obviously has this one. I think is the second best one of the bunch. And then you've got the Finding Nemo, mine. You get that reference, right? I'm not just being a crazy person. Mine. Help me out, people. Okay. There's no help coming for you, Dave. You're all alone. Okay. Leo, he featured in the last reaction video as well. What is going on here? What is this? This is Finland, again, in that town that I'm not even going to try and pronounce. I love stuff like this. This reminds me of sailing through the fjords in Norway, and you come across stuff like this, and you're just like, I need more context here. But outside of the context, love the way the lines of the clouds are leading towards the house. Love the way the light's hitting this side, and it's this side is in shadow. I love the way the sun is behaving here on the water and all the wood. It's just great. The red colours contrasting with the blue, the whites, the greens, the yellows. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And this is more how my eye sees things. This is more of that standard focal length that I can wrap my head around. This is another example of just having your phone on you and pulling it out in just a seemingly random situation. Now, whether or not this was truly random, maybe this person went up this escalator, saw that opportunity, and then went back and did the journey again. We don't know, but the point is, if you find yourself in this situation, this person just got re-held out by the looks of it. There's no context really, pointed it down and captured something. And you can do this on a bike, on a skateboard, anything where, again, this is like the cruise ship example, where there's a still element within the foreground and you're moving past and you're just capturing that motion blur. The only problem with this is you get the moire effect with the very fine lines on the escalator, but try and mitigate that as much as you can. Not really sure how, to be honest. Another Glyn situation. There's a few photographers who this video just could have all been just about them. And Glyn is definitely one of them. Again, another photo story from Storm Agnes. I don't follow the news. I don't really know what's going on with storms and things like that. Apparently Storm Agnes was a thing in the UK in September, and just the perseverance to capture photos like this, because just trying to keep your phone still when you're being buffeted by wind and the water and things like that, and just trying to find all these different compositions and then actually executing them once you've found them as well. Again, these are more, this one, are these more in my wheelhouse? Don't think this one is, but Glyn has all these shared individually as well. Highly recommend that you go and check them out. Something very, very different here, almost borderline disturbing from Kathy here. Again, just at a Morris dancing event, watching Morris dancing at least, and then whips out Reheld, 1 second exposure. This looks like a painting from an artist who wasn't altogether with it at the time, and that is a compliment. It's just fantastic. More like this, please. The textures, the colours. It's great. It doesn't tell a story. It's not got like a spectacular composition or it's not a spectacular sunset or location or something like this, but it's still very, very intriguing, and I'm here all day for it. Next, and a very, very spectacular landscape from this photographer, and I just love how the rocks are like fading away under what looks like a layer of fog. It looks polarized, but maybe it is. I don't know. There's no information, but that's what that effect. Come on, Dave. It was New Year's Eve last night, but I don't drink, so I've got no excuses. This is the effect that a polarizer can give you, and it's just a contrast with the blues. You've got this little pinpoint of the sun here with this line. Don't know enough about the weather to know what this is, but it's spectacular, the colours. And if you go on this post, there is another one where he shows the non-long exposure version. Definitely worth paying attention to this photographer in 2024, 100%. So Reese likes to do macro stuff, and I like these because it's a post again. These just look otherworldly. This could be like a close-up of magma or lava or something like that. It could be like another planet, an organism, but it looks just like leaves. And if you see the behind the scenes, if you see the context, look at that. It's just, or is it mushrooms or something, or whatever it is, lit in a certain way. There's a few macro shots coming up, or I think there's one at least, where it is just natural light, whereas Reese is taking it the other way, and he's got his tripod out, tripod's upside down, he's lit it. I don't know if the light was that cold in real life, but in this behind the scenes photo it looks bluish, and that has obviously helped. It looks edited. It looks like he's taken the blues out of some of these photos later on, but that's not the point. If you didn't have that light, this would have just been very, very dark and nowhere near as an effective photo. And Reese has got a few of these on Instagram and here on Facebook as well. Hopefully continues in 2024. So this is one of these that looks like it was natural light. You don't need this level of light when it's daytime, or you don't need to add light when it's daytime to your macro photos. Carlo doesn't just do macro stuff. Some of his macro stuff is stunning, but he's also got some landscapes here in the group as well. I highly recommend you go to the media tab and just go back through all the photos that have been captured this year. And this is just insane. What is this thing? I don't know what it is. Is it about to strike and bite his hand off? I don't know, but if this is looks like the long range macro, because that gives you a bit more context in your scene, but I could be wrong. There might be some comments here. Let's have a look. I know it's with the close one. So he had to get really, really close to get this creature in that. And I just love the shallow depth of field. I'm always curious about focus stacking. Should I start doing it and things like that when it comes to macro? But then I see this and I'm like, Nah, just stick with the shallow depth of field. It just looks so, so good. This is our only video. Let's just play it and offer some sort of commentary. And the reason it's, let's just move my face over this up next tab here, because it's just trash that Facebook is recommending to me over here. And this just, I'm neglecting macro video 100%. It is there. We can do it with focus peaking and things like that in slow motion as well. This is the close-up macro lens. I know it because I've already checked the description earlier. And just how close you have to get to this bee to get this shot. It's so close. And obviously the bee is moving a hell of a lot faster than what it appears here. And I'm going to hold until it actually takes off, because it's very, very interesting the way it just hovers away like that. And I'm going to try and look, why is this junk being recommended to me? Anyway, this is another post by this photographer, and it's similar sort of thing to Glyn's. This person had much better weather than Glyn, but just the way the light is coming through here, he's got the long exposure. Could have done with a filter, perhaps, just to smooth that water out even more, but not taking away anything from these photos. Just look at that. How this is done, I don't know. Did he say in the post that it was reheld? If it's reheld, then I take it back about using the filter. No, Reflex Pro camera. So again, a bit more context. Could have been, I don't know, like just on a walk, happened upon this thing, didn't have the filter, rested the phone on a branch or whatever it is, a ledge or something. We don't know, but just absolutely amazing stuff. And I need to get out more. I absolutely do. I need to get out more and capture stuff like this, because it's all right me saying I can't do this because I don't have this waterfall in the UK. Probably do, just probably haven't found it. Now, Jermaine just sharing the most spectacular photos. This would have taken ages with the star trails here. Orbiting Polaris, the North Star, and you've got the light trails. It's very, very tricky. Light trails, if you get the wrong angle, then they can just dazzle and overwhelm the frame. When the danger of it here would have been when they were coming over there, and you can get just a massive clump of light. That is where a few people struggle with light trails. And what makes this work so well as well is that you've got the contrast of the cars going the other way. I always love that crossover, and not just one way of the light trails. Just really special stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jermaine does in 2024. Now, something completely different. We're almost there. Thank you for watching this reaction video so far. We've got some intentional camera movement, some ICM at the Apple Store with re-expose. So what the heck was going on here? Was this looking at an iPhone display, and what you just bust out re-expose and just start like moving the camera around? Don't know. It's just look at it. It's really, really nice. There's just you've got the wallpaper of the iPhones here contributing to these really trippy colours, and I want to see more stuff like this going forward. This is really nice, and it stands out. As much as I like the landscapes and the cityscapes, we don't see too much of this stuff, and we don't see too many portraits. I've got a portrait as one of these last two. It might be, yeah, this one. This is the only portrait here. I'm taking a lot of portraits at the moment. I'm really into my portraiture with my iPhone and my G series telephoto lens, which I am loving. And I'm not just saying that because I'm working with the reflexes. You can see it in the results. And Rich photographer from Northumberland. This is a shot I took using Reflex app on my 13 Pro and modeling light on a studio. On a studio light. So you can see the modeling light here in the soft box, or it could be a round soft box or an umbrella. Who knows? The point is, it's really, really nice, and I want to see more portraiture. Love the lighting here, really soft, and no need for a kicker. Just works really, really well with all the warm, complementary colours. It's not easy to get colours to work together when they're complementary. At least I don't find it easy anyway. So Rich has done really well here. And final shot. Look at that. I mean, finish off with Reheld. It has definitely been the year. 2023 has been the year of Reheld. Look at this. Spectacular. This is Niagara Falls. I think Niagara Falls is on the border of Canada and New York. Could be. Is one bit of it in Canada, one bit of it in New York? I don't know, but this just looks, I mean, what can you say? It's not just a shot of Niagara Falls with the boat going in. That would have been a nice snapshot. Here, it's a proper photograph, to be all snooty as a photographer, darling. And you've got the wake creating these leading lines here. You've got this framing the photo if I wasn't here. Again, this watermark isn't as distracting, but it is harder when you're trying to lead the eye. I should have said this before with Brian's image and his watermark. The problem with watermarks is when you're trying to tell a story through composition and you're trying to lead someone's eye around a photo, the watermark can just throw people out of it straight away. And it doesn't do it so much here, but it's still playing a little bit of a part in it. Trying to ignore it, the way this frames the photo, you've got the leading lines, you've got the long exposure effect, the shape of the falls, the way the spray just rises up here. It looks like the ship has been, or the boat has just been fired in to the waterfall and it's hit it and gone poof. Obviously that's not happened. This is just a spray from the falls themselves. But this is just a wonderful image. You've got all the textures, the waves. You notice things. Going back to what I was saying about leading your eye around the photo. I've seen this photo in preparation for this video a lot, and I haven't ever paid attention before to all of these other shapes and textures and colours, the white on the turquoise or the aqua. I think aqua it would be in your HSL editors. Just adding to the photo. And I think that's it. So thank you very much for watching. How long have we been going for now? 30 minutes. So as I get these reaction videos better dialed in, don't know what they're going to look like going forward, but they are going to continue. Let me know what you think of them. I'm going to take your feedback on board. Do you want less photos, more of an analysis, more of a breakdown, or do you want more photos and just less of a comment? I don't know. I'm happy to take it either way, to be honest with you. As long as people are having fun, they're learning, I'm getting inspired. I'm definitely getting inspired. I'm taking so much, and I'm going to be paying very close attention to the group going forward in 2024 because I want to learn, and I want to do a lot more traveling this year. Get out to some of these places, similar places, and try and steal all your ideas. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a brilliant 2024. I hope you had an excellent 2023. And I'll see you around at the REEFLEX Piazza Facebook group. Oh, nice. Nice video.